It's October the 1st, 2013. This is the Danube Cathedral in Cologne, Germany. This church is so massive that it really hard to get a single shot in, so I'm going to show you the church scale with this video, give you an idea of its size. The spires themselves over 500 feet high. Gothic cathedral started somewhere in the 1200s. Word is that on some days there might be as many as 40,000 visitors to the cathedral. Not too far from the Rhine River. And obviously constant renovation. Like this scaffolding up here, that looks pretty darn interesting. This is the front, main entrance. Zoom in and get a little detail here. Alright, I think we're going to shoot a little video from the side. Be right back. This is a bit of the front as well as the side of the Dome Cathedral in Cologne. And the word is there's a lottery here in Germany, cathedral lottery that pays 2/3 of the renovation costs and costs about $5 million US a year to stay on top of the repair, replace, conserve cost of this beautiful cathedral. I think I should worth mentioning it took about 600 years actually off and on to complete the cathedral.
You'll notice here that there are no bridges across the Rhine River, but there are ferry crossings that allow people to cross from the port to the starboard and back. The days of the Romans, and the villages of Spain. We have with the clash of the Germanic tribes and the Romans here along the river. For over 400 years, the Rhine was almost a border between the Roman civilization, who took residence up on the left bank, and the German barbarians who took up living on the right side of the river. Now, all those years ago, this tradition is still popular today. As I mentioned, the cities on the left side of the river really don't have much to do with the cities on the right. Why were the German barbarians called barbarians? Well, it actually hails from the days of the Greeks, who felt that anyone who did not speak their language couldn't understand it. It sounded terrible. And to the Greeks, everything that other people were saying sounded like ba ba ba.
October the 2nd. This is a little video shot through the cabin window along the Rhine. And there's a castle guarding the curve in the river. It is Wednesday, October the 9th, and we're floating along from Cologne into the Danube Gorge. Colors are slowly turning.
Buildings on the right-hand side is the so-called Klöster. This German word means small monastery. A hermit used to live here in the 15th century. This place has a specialty, a so-called rock church. A natural cave in the limestone forms the nave of this church, so only one wall had to be erected towards the Danube.
Die Höhle auf der linken Seite, etwa 20 Meter über der Donau, diente einem ganz anderen Zweck. Sie war das Versteck der Donauräuber.
The cave on the left-hand side, about 20 meters above the Danube, served quite a different purpose. It was the hiding place of the Danube pirates.
They just happen to have a beer garden.
An die Befreiungskämpfe gegen Napoleon von 1813 bis 1815, vor allem an die Völkerschlacht bei Leipzig.
When you turn round, you have one of the most beautiful views of our Liberation Hall. It was built by order and command of King Ludwig I of Bavaria in commemoration of the Wars of Liberation from Napoleon, 1813 to 1815, above all in memory of the Battle of Nations near Leipzig.
Auf der rechten Seite sehen wir den hohlen Stein oder das Bienenhaus. An diesem Felsen kann man sehr gut die Hochwasserstände der letzten Jahre erkennen. Dort, wo der obere helle Rand an den dunklen grenzt am Felsen, so hoch war die Donau beim Jahrhunderthochwasser an Pfingsten 1999. Der Wasserstand war zu dieser Zeit etwa 5 Meter höher als bei Mittelwasser.
The rock formation on the right-hand side has got two names. It is called both the beehive or the hollow stone. The lowest part is almost white. It shows the height of the flood of the century in June 1999. At that time, the Danube was about 5 meters higher than the average water level.
Auf der rechten Seite Wipfelsfurt. Der kreisförmige, rund 150 Meter tiefe Kessel von Wipfelsfurt soll vor 15 Millionen Jahren als Krater durch einen Meteoriteneinschlag entstanden sein. Die Wipfelsfurt ist die seichteste Stelle der Donau zwischen Ingolstadt und Regensburg.
On the right-hand side, Wipfelsfurt. The circular basin, with a diameter of about 150 meters, was created about 15 million years ago, when a meteorite hit the ground and formed a crater. Wipfelsfurt, a ford, as you can learn from the name, is the shallowest part of the Danube between Ingolstadt and Regensburg.
Kilometer 0 befindet sich bei Sulina am Schwarzen Meer. Die Donau entspringt im Schwarzwald. Die Quellflüsse Brigach und Breg bringen die Donau zu Weg. Wir befinden uns momentan bei Kilometer 2417, also rund 430 Kilometer von der Quelle und 2417 Kilometer und 400 Meter von der Mündung entfernt. Die Kilometerangabe können Sie an den grünen Tafeln am rechten Ufer ablesen.
With its length of more than 2,850 kilometers, the Danube is the second longest river in Europe. It is one of the few rivers where the kilometers are counted backward, from the mouth of the river back to the source, and not as usual, from the source to the mouth. The green board with the black numbers on the right-hand riverbank tells you that at the moment we are at kilometer 2,417.4. That means about 430 kilometers off the source and 2,417 kilometers and 400 meters off the mouth.
Die beiden Felsspitzen links rückwärts sind Peter und Paul. Der Felsen auf der rechten Seite ist die steinerne Kanzel.
Looking backward, you can see twin peaks called Peter and Paul. The rock ahead of us on the right-hand side is the stone pulpit.
Um die Kähne durch die Engstelle zu bringen, ließ man vom Kloster aus, wo die nächsten Pferde warteten, mit Strohballen ein Seil vor die Engstelle schwimmen, sodass die Lastkähne durch den Donaudurchbruch gezogen werden konnten.
The path along the right-hand bank of the Danube reminds of towing. In former times, barges loaded with salt were pulled upstream by horses. The tow path ends at the long wall, the big rock formation ahead of us. To get the barges through the gorge, a rope was tied to a bunch of straw, which was thrown into the Danube beyond the gorge near the monastery. After floating through the gorge, the rope was fastened to the barges. Horses, waiting near the monasteries, pulled the barges through the gorge.
Vor uns bereits der Donaudurchbruch, die tiefste und engste Stelle der bayerischen Donau. Die Felsen sind Kalksteine der Formation Jura und entstanden vor 180 Millionen Jahren in einem tropischen Meer. Der Lauf der Donau war weiter nördlich im Flussbett der Altmühl, im Urdonautal, bis sie sich hier bei Weltenburg durch die Jura-Kalkfelsen gegraben hat. So entstand der Donaudurchbruch. Ohne menschliche Hilfe, ohne Sprengungen, allein durch die Gewalten der Natur.
And now, ahead of the ship, the gorge, the narrowest and deepest part of the Danube on its course through Bavaria. The rocks are limestone, going back to the Jurassic period. They came into existence in a tropical sea about 118 million years ago.
Der freistehende Felsen auf der linken Seite ist die versteinerte Jungfrau.
The freestanding rock on the left-hand side is the petrified Virgin.
Links am Felsen sehen Sie das Krokodil oder die Rieseneidechse. Links vor uns, die 3 Felskugeln im Wasser, sind die 3 versteinerten Brüder. Sie werden auch die 3 Feindlichen genannt.
In the rock on the left side, you can find a crocodile. Please look at the middle of the rock. There is the tail. The crocodile's head is almost at the top. On the same side, ahead of us, there are 3 round boulders in the river. They are called the hostile brothers because they never meet.
Wir befinden uns nun im Donaudurchbruch, der tiefsten und engsten Stelle der bayerischen Donau. Der Fluss ist hier nur 80 Meter breit, aber je nach Wasserstand bis zu 20 Meter tief. Die Fließgeschwindigkeit der Donau beträgt hier ca. 2,5 Meter pro Sekunde. Auf der rechten Seite die lange Wand. An der langen Wand sind 65 eiserne Ringe angebracht. Daran haben sich früher die Kahnführer mit einem Bootshaken von einem Ring zum anderen gegen die Strömung nach oben gezogen. Rechts am Felsen die Heiligenfigur, der heilige Nepomuk, der Wasserschutzpatron und Brückenheilige von Prag.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the real gorge, the narrowest and deepest part of the Danube on its course through Bavaria. The Danube is only 20 meters wide and 20 meters deep. The rock formation on the right-hand side is called the Long Wall. A little bit above the water level, you can see altogether 65 iron rings. As in former times, the ships didn't have any engines, the boatsmen used to pull their boats from one ring to the next against the current. In this rock formation, you can also see the statue of the water patron saint John Nepomuk.
Nach rückwärts nun der schönste Blick in den Donauberg. Der steile Felsen auf der linken Seite ist der Römerfelsen. Auf diesem Felsen stand die Römerstadt Artobrida. Hier soll zur Zeit der Römer eine lederne Hängebrücke vom linken zum rechten Felsen herübergegangen sein. Der Römerfelsen ist ca. 105 Meter hoch und hat 6 Meter Überhang.
When you look backward now, you have a wonderful view of the gorge. The cliff on the left-hand side is the Roman Rock. On top of it used to be the Roman town Artobrida. A leather suspension bridge is said to have spanned the Danube from this crack to the other side of the river. The Roman Rock is about 105 meters high, with an overhang of 6 meters. Its height is about the same as the Gothic Cathedral St. Peter's of Regensburg.
Vor uns bereits die älteste Benediktinerabtei Bayerns, das im Jahr 620 gegründete Kloster Weltenburg. Die wegen ihrer großartigen Barockausstattung berühmte Klosterkirche wurde 1720 erbaut. In wenigen Minuten legen wir an der Anlegestelle in Weltenburg an. Von den Fahrgästen, die hier aussteigen, möchten wir uns verabschieden. Wir hoffen, es hat Ihnen an Bord unseres Schiffes gefallen und wünschen noch einen schönen Tag. Fahrgäste, die an Bord sitzen bleiben und wieder mit zurückfahren, bitten wir, die Fahrscheine bereitzuhalten. Die Rückfahrzeiten der Schiffe können Sie an den Schiffskassen ablesen.
Ahead of us now, the oldest Benedictine Abbey of Bavaria, the monastery of Weltenburg, which was founded in 620. The Abbey Church was built between 1716 and 1751 by the Asa brothers and is famous for its great Baroque decor. And Weltenburg, ladies and gentlemen, is also famous for its dark beer. The captain and his crew want to say goodbye to you. They wish you a pleasant stay in Weltenburg.
Good day. It's October the 10th and we're in Passau, Germany. What you're seeing now is, we're going to call it a castle. I think it was maybe the bishop's residence at one time. We'll do a little, but we're standing here at the confluence of the Danube and Inn River, so we're going to do a pan of that. Beautiful city. This is the Danube here. And this is actually would serve as a confluence point. And actually just up here is where the Ilz River comes in. You can't see it, but it's just beyond that point out there in the Danube. So there's actually, this is a point where 3 rivers come together. And the mountains you see in the distance, I'll call them hills, is actually Austria. We're very close to the Germany-Austria border. And there's Betsy. So the river you're seeing there is the Here's a brief view of the city center in Passau. Here's the this building here is the town hall. Rathskeller. And the Onion Dome towers are, I think it's St. Stephen Cathedral. Of course, you see all the various and sundry ships line up along the riverbank of the Danube. As I mentioned earlier, it's a very lovely city, pretty compact. Let's talk about the 500-year flood in Passau that occurred in late May, early June. You can see some evidence of that along the flood wall here.
The red brick road.
It's pretty dramatic. You can see it right there. That's how high it got. Actually, what's incredible is that the quick cleanup, at least of the exterior, there's very little evidence other than watermarks on the buildings of any flooding. And it was some serious stuff. So several of the buildings along the waterfront, you can see evidence of that damage still. I think there's a little bit there on that building, and as we go down a little farther, see where that building's been painted up to a certain point. So serious flooding here in Passau. What am I doing? In Passau, this is St. Stephen's Cathedral.